Wow, now this is wild. We here in Kenya, we have a bill called the Finance Bill of 2024, and I'm telling you, it's a crazy one. Maybe probably you can just listen even if you're not a Kenyan and get to see, do you have such kind of a thing in your country? I am telling you, there is a bill that is about to go before the parliament, and it's about all about taxes, how much the taxes we're going to have in terms of the increment. Now, the point is this. Oh my goodness, it has reached to a point whereby I cannot ignore it. I have to let you know, guys, how will it affect your personal advice, or rather, how will it affect your personal income, your income and your development, your investment, and all those kind of things. Because I'm getting some of you guys asking me, hey, will it affect my money market fund? Will it affect the bills and bonds and what have you? By the way, it has sort of an effect on the treasury bills or other treasury bonds as far as the infrastructure one is concerned. But anyway, do what? Just relax and watch this video, because if you can actually know the solution of something before it happens, can you just imagine how safe you can be? All right, so stick around and watch this video to the end and understand, was are we expecting? All right, go ahead, and by the way, if you've never subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button. There is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, and also make sure that you like the video and comment on the comment section. Why am I telling you to do all this? Because I upload a video each and every day. Let's get to the business now. We have this thing called the 2024 Finance Bill. Okay, it's a proposal. It's a proposal that there should be, there will be an increment in terms of the taxes. And the one that is actually hitting the headlines is that there will be what we call, and by the way, if you're watching this from outside the country, I would like you to tell me, from your country, do you have this kind of a bill or something? Do you have like a kind of a law whereby you have to pay 2.5%, what do we call, sort of tax on your car, 2.5% of value of your car, What does it mean? Like, it means, like, say, if you have a car that is worth, say, 2 million, okay? 2 million. You're going to pay 2 million, okay? So what is 2.5 million, or what is 2.5% of 2 million? That's like close to, like, is it 50,000? 50,000 thereabout? Like 50,000 or something? Yeah, you have to pay like that 50,000 each and every month, or no, each and every year when you're subscribing. And then what they're telling you is that when you're going to pay this money, for these taxes, is actually intertwined with your licensing, so you cannot evade it. So by virtue, let's say maybe you are paying your license for 50,000. Okay, so if you're paying your license for 50,000, so it'd be 50,000 plus the 50,000 for the government. So you're gonna pay 100,000. And obviously, each and every country, you cannot have a car on the road which does not have a license. So it comes with that package. So I think the government will go behind the curtain and be able to get them. I don't know, whatever it is. The point remains that people have to pay this 2.5 tax on the car. And I know you're like, I don't worry about that. I don't have a car. I don't have an issue. I'm telling you, there is something called the trickle-down effect. You might say, hey, today I was actually reading the headlines, and I was actually like, I came across a point like the PSVs, yeah? The PSV, that is a public service vehicle. It's like the taxis in South Africa. It's like the Dala Dala in Tanzania. It's like the taxis in Uganda, like the Trotro in Ghana. They're gonna hike the price of the travel. You say you're moving from one point to the other. Maybe say you're used to paying like 50 shillings. Probably gonna add like 20. You're gonna be paying 70 shillings. This means something for your life. Let's say you travel each and every day. So there is an increment of 40 shillings before you have to get out of your house and come back. So that is 40 shillings multiplied by 30. That would be like 1,200. 1,200 multiplied by 12. Yo, I'm telling you, that's huge chunk of cash that has actually been increased. So what exactly does it affect you? This is exactly how it is affecting you. Because what happens is that whenever there is an increment of the taxes and what have you, that cost is usually pushed to the consumers. It's pushed to the consumers. It's pushed to the consumers. So you have to adjust yourself. Assuming that it all happens and your MP betrays you and actually votes yes for the bill to pass, then it means that the kind of a cost that has to part ways with. So you actually need to think and be like, okay, oh my goodness, there is a new 1,200 that's actually, and I don't know why. Guys, have you ever realized this about life? You find that the bills, kids grow very fast, but we have that young kid there called the salary does not grow. And if it grows, then it grows at a very slow rate. You realize maybe probably for the last 3 or 4 years, you have not been increased any salary. Probably, not even probably, the cooking oil has doubled in price. The price of the fuel from the US, you call them, I don't know, gas, whatever the thing it is, has actually increased. You realize the rental income or the rent has actually increased. The transport has increased. The food prices and whatever has increased. But your salary has always remained constant. And you're expecting to grow and all those kind of things. And obviously, for example, if the cost of production or if the cost goes high, then it means even that transport money that you usually pay for your kid has to increase, probably because the fuel is increasing, and it has a ripple effect. And that ripple effect is what are going to trickle down to the consumer. The other thing that is actually crazy about this bill is that the content creators, I know they are being proposed that they're going to pay 5% of whatever they're earning. If you, after all, you're earning from whatever the thing that you're doing digitally, whether you're working online, whatever the thing it is, you have to pay the taxes and what have you. So the point is, you have to pay a tax of 5%. And I heard also there was an increment on the taxes on the cameras and the production gear. And you're like, oh my goodness. Then there is a increment of the fuel. There is that. It's like you're having double taxation. I'm not here for political things. I'm just here for the monetary part of it and how it's going to affect you. So the point is, how do you adjust yourself as early as you can? And again, before you go to how can you adjust yourself, there is another thing that we love most. Personally, I love it most. And we haven't seen it for quite a long time, like from March up to now, we are on June. And that is we haven't seen something called the infrastructure bond. It's a method of investment, and they are proposing. See, if an infrastructure bond has been tax-free, where you invest your, for example, the last one we had was around 18.4%, tax-free, meaning like whatever you invest there, you don't pay tax. I came across a point whereby they say, hey, you know what? You'll be paying tax on that specific infrastructure board. Probably that's the reason why they have not floated any as of now from that particular time. We have like 3 months ago, they have not actually floated that infrastructure bond. Since then, I should say maybe since independence or whatever, it has actually been tax-free. But now the tax is about to be introduced so that at least they can be able to expand the basket of income. And by the way, I'm not trying to brush off the aspect of paying taxes. I support any country to ask for the taxes, but I usually say, if you can have a little bit of understandable one, like the one is a bit favorable, so that at least at the same time, yeah, we pay the tax for the purposes of the growth of our country, and also so not to, because honestly speaking, when I look at it from the point of, I'm actually seeing most of the people might actually go into the poverty. We are trying to salvage, yeah. I know you might say, for whoever is proposing this might be like, okay, fine. In the long term, it's going to have a good thing. True, but we're going to sacrifice the current generation for the sake of the future generation. Wow, that's a bit tough. But anyway, you may argue also from the point of there are people who fought for the independence. Some of them even died in the bushes. They never enjoyed the independence. So you have to pay the taxes for the sake of the coming generations. But for now, at least we still have a life to live. So it is good to pay taxes, yes, but at least be considerate in some things too or the other. The other thing about the taxes that I actually also saw it that you're going to be there, that the KRA is like Kenya Revenue Authority. That is, and I don't know why I've ever realized one thing. Most of the institutions in Africa, they end with the term authority, not a service. There was a proposal that they have to change, they want to change the KRA from KRA to KRS, Kenya Revenue Service, where they make it look as if it's a bit friendly, it's a service rather than authority, NTSA. In America, they call it NTSB. But here in Kenya, it's NTSA. So it has to end with authority, CMA, Capital Market Authority. I don't know why in Africa, power is a kind of thing. I don't know, I'm not going into the political way, but anyway, just go find out. Yeah. So the point is, they are saying like the KRA now will be able to, the banks or the KRA will be given the mandate to go to your bank and literally see what you have in your bank and your transactions, so to see whether you're actually, doing the payment of those taxes and whatever. So that, because they are saying there are people actually hiding there, here and there. They are not able to, or they're not actually paying the taxes that is supposed to be. So we are expecting a kind of a bumpy ride in terms of the taxes where they come in. Anyway, we are hoping, we only bank on the MPs that we elected to actually go there and vote it down. But welcome to Africa. I'm not saying anything on the same, but the point is, how exactly do you prepare yourself for such kind of an eventuality? One thing that you're supposed to understand is that always adjust your life. The moment you realize that there is a change that is coming, always adjust yourself. This is high time you're supposed to ask yourself, I'm addicted too much into alcohol. Maybe I take a lot of money, maybe saying alcohol is saying a given weekend. Maybe you have to bring it down so that you can be able to salvage this. Probably if you don't use matatus, maybe you have your own car. You can actually, because you have to part ways with 50,000 divided by 12, a couple of thousands out there. So you have to adjust yourself so to accommodate this eventuality that has happened. It's like giving birth. Let's say you had like 2 kids. All of a sudden, well, you have another kid there. Then it means you have to pay the school fees and what have you. So you have to adjust your life. It's either by earning more or you actually cut cost on some of the things that you find them unnecessary. So the same case happens. So you have to cut cost on some of the things. But unfortunately, there are some of the things you cannot cut cost. For example, I can't tell you now, go ahead, be fasting now. Don't be eating. doesn't make sense. So for the basics, you can let them remain the way they are. But the other things that you know are for entertainment and don't have you, we tighten the belt. See, if you can't fight them, you join them. That is exactly what happens. So some of the things, for example, is a refill of gases. They're small things that you can be able to hack them in a simple way. You know, refill of those gases, you can actually, you know, be refilling it in sequentially, identify that place where you usually go. You know, if you realize that some of the places that you're living is a bit expensive, you cannot afford it, try to a little bit downgrade your lifestyle in one way or the other. Maybe you're having yourself a big car. By the way, I think right now, sometimes I feel like that whatever thing is like gonna benefit the rich. Why? I like, let's say, for example, this is a price of and that 2 million is a price of like an average car, and then you find like you're paying like a 50 G's, and then somebody with like 37 million or 40 million or even 50 million, because we even have a car that worth that amount of money, is paying 100,000. So from 2 million to 50 or 30 million, and because they are saying the minimum you can pay is 5,000 and the maximum you can pay is 100,000. So it means even if you have a car that is worth more than 100 million or $1 million, you're still gonna pay 100. So it makes me feel like this guy who having a car worth 2 million is a bit disadvantaged. I know you might be like, he can buy the bigger one, but what if he doesn't have the capacity to do that? So you can imagine these cars that transport our food will actually have to pay that thing, even missing the ferry, the cost of ferrying products from one point to the, like, just expect the rise of, the cost of living to actually go up there. So I really hope that it will really mean good for this country. But for now, I'm just crossing fingers that it doesn't pass, because I do not feel comfortable with it, because wow, it's a bit steep for me, if you ask me on a very serious note. Anyway, I hope our leaders, they will be able to be considerate on the same. But that is exactly what you expect to have. I don't know for when it would actually be presented before the parliament for them to debate and whether to pass it or whatever. And I hope even if it passed, the presidential assent will never happen, so that the president will be like, okay, fine, I would put that thing on that specific paper. So I'm just hoping that it won't happen, but it is a crazy one. So just expect some things if it happens. So adjust yourself in those particular areas so that at least you can do something. See, I'm trying to filter my words. Probably you might feel like I'm trying to retain some words. Yeah, because I don't want to go the political way. Yeah, I'm just giving you from the perspective of the finances and how it will affect you. Just allow me to finish this. I'm not feeling even comfortable discussing this, but just be aware. Yeah, there's something called the financial bill. And maybe you're watching me from outside the country or outside the Kenyan country. Tell me, do you have that kind of a thing in your country, like where you pay the taxes for your car, like you pay the normal license, then the value of your car, you have to pay it included with the tax or the license, insurance? I don't know. You tell me exactly, how do you guys, what's that crazy bill that you guys have in your country, if you have any? And what's that crazy bill that you actually guys fought, that it doesn't happen and it happened? Let's just see how crazy this continent of ours is actually is, okay? And not even continent, the entire globe, okay? For now, it's a goodbye. Don't forget to as well hit the like button, subscribe, and comment on the comment section. See you the next time.